We're going to make our sable dough. Sable dough is a short dough, or called a short dough, because it's very high in fat, very high in sugar, but it's a tart dough, and it's a very common tart dough. Pâte brisée, pâte sable, pâte sucre, all French names, but they're all not interchangeable. Sugar paste, or pâte sucre, that's a little crisper, a little sweeter, makes a little bit harder crust, but the sable dough makes a really nice cookie crust, and it's essentially that cookie. So what we're going to do is we're going to cream together our butter and our sugar using our paddle attachment. It's essentially just the creaming method. And when we cream, how long do we cream for? Okay, we're combining, we're changing the texture. Anything else? So when? So it sticks to the side of the bowl. That's our visual indicator that we creamed it up. That's lightened the mixture. It's got some air in there. The air is where the liquid from the egg is going to reside. Okay, and we want to add this kind of slowly. Yeah, so what was our formula for this? How much sugar? 2.64 ounces? Are you asking me or telling me? Come on, stand your ground. 2.5 ounces? How much butter? 5.3. How much egg? How much flour? 8. What kind of flour? 8. Make sure that your amounts match up there so we all end up with the same product. Adding to the math, I'm not going to change the value there. Sorry about the lousy marker. Now, we only need 0.6 ounces of egg. How much egg is in one whole egg? One whole large egg? 2 ounces. Anybody else? 1.8. That's another guess. Anybody else? 1.67 ounces. 2 ounces is right for the weight of one whole large egg. But the shell is part of that weight. We're not using the shell. What's inside is about 1.67 ounces. Don't believe me? Digital scale and an egg, tear off the weight of the container and break the egg into it. It should be right around 1.6, 1.7 ounces. Somewhere in there is your fluctuation. So I'm going to need about half of this egg. I can't cut the egg in half. The only way I can do that is by whipping the egg and pouring on half of it. Otherwise, you're going to have all egg white or all egg yolk. And those have different functions. So it's important that you have the right thing. Autumn, can I get a sifter, please? And Naisha, could I have a piece of parchment? All right, if you look into my bowl, you'll see that my mixture is starting to mix, or starting to stick to the side of the bowl. That's good. That's what I want. That means it's lightening up, getting even. Thank you, ladies. So I'm going to fold my parchment in half. I'm going to sift my flour. I want to make sure there are no lumps. I don't want to spend a lot of time mixing this dough, busting out lumps, or finding lumps later on. That'll make my dough tough. This needs to be tender, so I don't want to overmix it. Cake flour is especially susceptible to lumping because it is ground finer, milled more finely. So it's a good idea to go ahead and go through the process of sifting. All right, so now in my bowl, you'll see I've got that mixture stuck to the sides. Kick it up for just 1 second on high to throw off that heavy piece. And now I'm going to add my egg. It's not a lot of egg, so I can add that pretty much all at once. And again, about half of the egg. Too much, and it's going to make your dough cakey. It's not going to hold its shape very well when we make our chocolate tart. Too little, it's going to make your dough crumbly. It's not going to have a lot of structure. So once that's all nice and even, you can't see any egg anymore, then you can add your flour. And just like with cookies, I have to add my flour all at once and mix until combined. Oh, I did forget about my vanilla. Thank you very much. That can go in just about any time. You could have added that in the first stage. I'm a big fan of putting flavorings in early on so that they get more incorporated. I want to make sure that that gets incorporated throughout. Pick up your paper, and now you've got a nice funnel. Pour it right down the front. Wait till it's nice and smooth. Don't overmix it. I mean, you don't have to stand there all day long, every little chunk of flour. We're going to scale these out into 8-ounce units, make them into pucks, rounds, flat. We're going to put them in the cooler to chill. When we get to it, we'll blind bake these at the end of the day. Okay, so we'll do a little blind baking today. I'm going to show you what this looks like when it comes off, so hold off for just 1 second for me. And I can do a little hand mixing too. Okay, so I didn't mix it all the way. What I've got in my mixer, still a little coarse, still a little rough. Use your fingers to clean down the paddle. It's the best thing there is. No rubber spatula will ever do the job quite as well. Set that aside. Then we're going to scrape all of this together. Get it all at once. It should make 2 pucks, 2 8-ounce pucks. If you got a little extra, what are you going to do? You going to make a baby tart?
Chip it in.
Oh my God. Yeah, chip it in. Good. Just gently work it together. Once you've got it, divide it in half. Because that's all you need, you and your partner. Work it into a puck. Wrap those in plastic, or you could just throw them in a mise bag. Heck, for that, we could just, if we're going to blind bake them today, which I hope we get to, we could just put them on a speed rack or put them on a sheet pan, stick them in the cooler, let them chill. Pick up all that extra, leave that on the table. Work that a little bit. It looks a little rough yet, but we're not done with it yet. Okay, but all the fat is evenly combined. Everything is nice and evenly incorporated. Now, variations on this. Dry spices could go in here. You can throw a little cinnamon in there, a little ginger, a little cinnamon, or I'm sorry, a little clove. You could use, in place of the flour, a little cocoa powder to make a chocolate sable. Okay, so there are other variations here. And those will be noted. I think in your textbook, those are noted well. So you can check that out too, his variation on the sable dough. But it's an excellent little pastry dough. You're going to do a little tart. It's a good dough for it. Any questions? All right, let's get it done. Let's have that done.